Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is going to be on Kingsbarns. Let's go. So to start things off, Kingsbarns is pretty simple. His stats read 3 starts, 3 wins, earnings of $657,300. A very lightly raced horse, but he has one major race that slid him into the Kentucky Derby standings, and that is a victory in the Louisiana Derby, getting him 100 points and his spot in this field. For highest speed figure, he comes out at a decent 95. Now, there have been horses we've talked about that have had slower and faster speed figures, but I think the context around those speed figures is the most important, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But for now, all I'll say is that Kingsbarns' speed figure doesn't sell him, especially with the context of the race. And in comparison to other speed figures of previous Louisiana Derby winners, he is one of the slowest. And that might come down to his running style. Now, his most popular race, he won the race gate to wire, so he's just a dead frontrunner, right? Well, no. In his other 2 races, he was a stalker, and the reason why he led all the way in the Louisiana Derby was because there was no pace. The Louisiana Derby was super slow, and that's why he was able to win so easily, because he was able to control the race, and there wasn't really much fuss over it. He won't really get that luxury in the Kentucky Derby, but his stalking performances in his previous 2 races are, in my opinion, more impressive, because they show his ability to navigate between horses, and also it shows that he's multi-talented. He doesn't need the lead whatsoever, he was just the product of a race. And that pretty well summarizes his biggest strength as a horse, which is his surprising versatility. Now, it's not the same as, say, Mage's versatility from the previous episode, but it's still very good. He can both stalk, and he can lead, and he can handle both fast and slow paces. If there's a fast pace, he can hang behind the leaders and then pick up later, and if there's a slow pace, he can just take the lead and set the race for himself. Which is pretty nice to have in the Kentucky Derby when things don't always go according to plan, and he's already proven that he can navigate horses, especially when there's a lot of them, as shown in his maiden victory. But if there's weaknesses, we're going to have a little bit of overlap from the previous episode. The Apollo curse still remains quite prevalent for Kingsbarns, and unlike Mage, he hasn't dealt with nearly as much trouble as he has, so he is much less proven, and also the competition he's ran against is not the greatest. The Risen Star was the much better Louisiana Derby prep in terms of quality, and the best horses from that race went elsewhere. So all that was really left was the scraps for Kingsbarns to absolutely obliterate. And that is usually why horses who have not raced at age 2 don't fare well in the Derby, because they usually do not have the chance to face off against way tougher horses, so the jump to the Kentucky Derby's level of difficulty is very hard to overcome. Overall, I would say that Kingsbarns fits the stereotype of the lightly raced Kentucky Derby contender pretty well, down to the 3 races and the single start and stakes company, which is mostly not a good thing, but it's not impossible. And I do appreciate his versatility in those races, but he has a lot to prove. So for that, I give Kingsbarns a B grade. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and tell me what you think of this horse, whether you like him more or less than me, and comment down which horses you want to see me cover soon. See you guys next time.